What if France conquered Italy in 1812? The year is 1812 and Europe is at war. The French are marching on Moscow and the Russians are burning their own cities to the ground rather than let the French take it. But far from the frozen wastes of the East, another campaign is taking place. Napoleon's brother, Joseph Bonaparte, is leading the French into Italy with the goal of taking over the entire peninsula. And while he's got a smaller army than his brother Napoleon, he's got one thing that Napoleon doesn't: legitimacy. You see, Joseph is the rightful heir to the throne of Naples, having been passed over only because he was born a twin. And so when the French enter Italy, they're greeted not as conquerors, but as liberators, at least in some parts of the country. In our timeline, this didn't really matter. You see, despite being the rightful heir to the throne of Naples, Joseph was never actually made king. Instead, he was given the title of Grand Duke of the newly created Grand Duchy of Berg in northern Italy. But what if in this timeline, Joseph was made king of Naples? Would the Italians be so quick to accept him as their ruler? Well, probably not. See, despite being the rightful heir, Joseph isn't Italian, he's French. And as such, he represents foreign rule just as much as Napoleon does. In fact, he's even more representative of foreign rule since he has no claim to the throne of France. Still, if Joseph were king, he could try to play the legitimate monarch card to great effect. He could use his lineage to rally the Italians against the Austrians, promising them freedom from Habsburg rule if they supported him. And while many Italians would likely still resist him, especially those who supported the other claimants to the throne, there's a good chance that he could have unified the peninsula under French rule, especially since he'd likely be more popular in the south, where people liked the French and saw them as liberators. But what would that mean for Europe? Well, it might mean a much more powerful France, actually. You see, by conquering Italy, Joseph would be giving France a much-needed population boost as well as access to the Mediterranean. This would make France much more powerful, potentially allowing them to field even larger armies. And it might also mean an earlier end to the Napoleonic Wars. With Italy under his control, Napoleon wouldn't need to conquer it as well. And so he might be able to focus on other areas, perhaps even trying to invade Britain. Of course, this is all just a fun little history fantasy. In reality, Joseph never conquered Italy. He didn't even get his own kingdom. But it is fun to imagine what would have happened if things had gone differently. So what do you think? How would history have been different if Joseph Bonaparte had conquered Italy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.